The optic and ammunition used in this video was provided by Gunnr for free. I do not make any kickback from my product link or code in the description and pinned comment. The Odin 1-8X is a first focal plane, low power variable optic with quite a bit of premium features for the relatively low cost of $520. And with the code ES70, you can get that down to $450 on their website. The Odin 1-8 is advertised as a hard-use optic, with their marketing materials showing it getting run over by cars, frozen, and submerged with water. The optic feels quite rugged and of decent quality. It is made out of 70-75 aluminum and weighs 21.3 ounces. It is IP67 rated, meaning it is waterproof to 1 meter for 30 minutes. The optic has a 30mm outer diameter tube, making it compatible with most mounts on the market. Gunnr sent me one of their mounts with the optic, and it's pretty nice. The Odin has exposed turrets that can be unlocked by pulling on them. Each click is a 1/4 MOA adjustment. The elevation has an adjustable zero stop, and there is no sign that you have made a full rotation on either turret. The adjustments feel very nice, and there is zero slop when the turrets are locked. In my opinion, they did a great job here. The magnification adjustment spins smoothly and quickly. A throw lever that can be screwed on for quicker adjustments is included. Before we get into reticle, illumination, and glass, I want to give a quick disclaimer. I am no means an expert or even well versed in the world of LPVOs. I do personally have nearly 5,000 rounds behind them and love LPVOs, but I'm not familiar with many of the budget options. If you're looking for a good comparison between optics or people that are well versed in this field, check out Focus Trip and Brass Facts. They have used way more optics than me. I chose to do this review as I was really curious on how good this optic could be. Tons of small reviewers have gotten these and have made extremely positive videos on this optic, and as someone that has been interested in a first focal plane 1-8 more recently, I thought this would be a great chance to check one out. The reticle design on this is extremely similar to the Nightforce 1-8 FC DMX, which is a fantastic and extremely popular reticle. Please remember that a lot of things I say about reticles are opinions, and people can vary in what they want and need in a reticle. At 1x, the reticle is a thin T with a dot in the center on paper. As you zoom in, the MOA reticle becomes more visible. The reticle between 2 to 8 and especially 6 to 8 is fantastic. The center pinpoint dot is sharp and a perfect size, and the grid is very visible and readable without obscuring the target. On 1x, the center part of the reticle is very small and hard to use. While the T arrow helps guide your eyes to the pinpoint center, in real use outside and in fast-paced shooting, the reticle in the center is too small to use without illumination. A way to help with this is by adding contrast by illumination. The illumination is powered by a CR2032. This optic offers 6 levels of illumination. Settings between 1 to 3 illuminate only the center reticle, while settings 4 to 6 illuminate the whole tree. Between each power level is an off setting. Sadly, this optic is by no means daylight bright, and on 1x, not barely daylight red. The illumination works nicely for semi-low light shooting, but in the day, it's nearly useless for when it counts, in my experience. While this doesn't really affect the shooting experience from 3 to 8x, it holds the optic back on 1x performance, making it hard to pick up the reticle in fast shooting where it's supposed to shine. One of the largest buying points in the Odin is its glass. Gunnr uses German shot ED glass in their optics, and it pays off. The optical performance of this optic is just fantastic and incredibly clear. The 1x field of view is 123 feet at 100 yards, which is comparable to the PLXC, an optic that costs 3 times as much as this. The bevel around the optic feels small and clean, not quite like a Razor HD, but really good and way better than any similar priced optics I have used. At 8x, the optic has near zero chromatic aberration, is incredibly sharp, and gives a flat image. Light transmission in the dark is good too. Not incredible or different level of amazing, but decently good and more than usable. I can't stress how good the image on this optic looks. Its magnified performance is fantastic. Now, if you know anything about LPVOs, you know that you can't have everything. This scope has a tight eye box and very short eye relief. I found that it had to be mounted further back than normal optics on my rail to get a clean sight picture. Overall, this is an optic with an incredible feature set that seems to forget what it is. A low power variable optic. The 2 to 8x on the scope is fantastic and feels like it punches well above its price range, with its clear glass, minimal distortion, and large picture. The MOA grid and its exposed turrets gives this so much potential as a ultra-effective long-range GPR optic. Sadly, its 1x suffers due to its poor illumination and short eye relief. I know I shouldn't be incredibly critical of an optic that's price point is a feature, but if you prioritize what you truly want in an optic, $500 can go pretty far without too much compromise. For the past 2 years, I've been running a Primary Arms Gen 3 ACSS 1-6 second focal plane. While this optic is nothing special and has a very basic feature set, Despite being substantially optically inferior, its 1x feels much faster than the Odin due to its large reticle. While the Odin has a way better glass and a much better setup for long range, I never really had issues with the ACSS within 500 yards with 5.56, due to the plug-and-play nature of the reticle. I've abused this optic so much and it keeps on kicking. These go for $289 and are my go-to recommendation for a budget 16-inch 5.56 scope. If you really want long-range performance with amazing glass at $500, look for a first focal plane 2-10 or 3-18 optic with parallax adjustment and a piggyback red dot. If you want a plug-and-play GPR optic that can do 500 yards and in and is fast as well, look for a second focal plane optic with holds. If Gunnr really upped the brightness on this reticle, it would be an amazing optic. A no-brainer buy. It would have both a fast clean 1x and a amazing long-range performance with a nice MOA grid in that German glass. I'm going to continue to run this optic a bit more over the following months to get more use on the reticle. I really do like the long-range capabilities that this has to offer, so I hope I can train over the poor 1x and Illumination. If I can't, I will go back to the old reliable and deal with the semi-mid class. Alright, just kind of ending the video, doing, the outro, normal stuff that I do, unscripted. First thing I do want to just note, everything I said on the conclusion stands, but I know some of you might say this. Yeah, pretty much all the 1x issues that this has is extremely common in, most 1 to 8 budget first focal plane optics. So that's not any type of outlier, just saying that. Next thing though, if you made it here, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, especially on a video that's kind of out of the ordinary like this. So I really appreciate that you made it here. If you like this video, please like it. If you didn't, please dislike it. I appreciate constructive feedback, so get in the comments. I answer pretty much every single question in the comments. Eventually, sometimes it takes me a bit to get to it, but if you comment within the first week the video's up, I will definitely get to your comment if it's legible and understandable. Along with channel news, really quickly, I've got some good news. So pretty much there's going to be one more optics review that'll be dropping sometime in the week after this one drops. Then after that, we're going to be night vision focused pretty much for the rest of the year. The next video that will be coming out after that should come out in the next 3 weeks, and that is going to be the Gen 2 Plus analog video. That video is almost done. It's going to be pretty in-depth, pretty detailed, and should give you guys kind of a tutorial on how to recreate a Gen 2 Plus or Gen 3 analog night vision device for under $1,000. So that's going to be the next big video that's kind of coming out then. I really appreciate all your guys' support and patience, and thank you so much, and see you in the next one.